All right, everybody, welcome to Earth Science. Thanks for all your work so far. We've gotten through two introductory units, basic units, and now it's like actually time to start doing some Earth Science. So, where we're going next to begin really getting into what we got to do this year with how all of the things on our planet work is first, we need a universe, right? We're going to say, here's like the biggest picture, here's where the grandest scale and the grandest amount of time exists, and then whittle it down to closer into our solar system that you see pictured here, and eventually later in the year, how then the atmosphere and the planet itself works. But we're starting big. So this unit is really how does this whole universe thing, how do other stars work? And within all of that, how did I get here? You know, what is this stuff that I'm made out of? So let's give ourselves kind of a cosmic address. Where do we live in this universe? I'm guessing a lot of us are familiar with this basic diagram. You've got a sun with 8 planets and Pluto and some other dwarf planets all orbiting around it, as well as an asteroid belt. Okay, you are here. And what this is just a poster. It's just a digital version of a poster, but I like it because what it does is say, okay, if you're here, if we start to zoom out, you're going to see that that star that we're so fond of, the sun, is one of many stars in a little neighborhood through here. And there's some neighbor stars, but even those are ridiculously far away. There's no conceivable way for us to get to even our closest stars with any technology that we currently have. It's just not going to happen. And even if we could, are those stars? Is there anything cool going on there? You know what I mean? Are those would those be a valuable place to travel? I mean, what are the chances? There's chances that there's other habitable planets out there. Chances are they're not at the couple of stars that are really close to us. And by really close, I mean inconceivably far away in terms of our present technology. So take those groups and spread it out more and more um, to maybe you've heard of this too, the Milky Way. That we live in one little tiny neighborhood in this Milky Way. It's a spiral galaxy with these like arms, these kind of cloudy arms. These are all stars. Now, if you can get outside on a dark night, very dark, away from what we call light pollution. If you're right in town, it can be kind of tough. If you can get out into the country a little bit and turn down other lights, you can see the Milky Way as like a faint band of stars going through the sky. The less full the moon is, the easier that is to make out if you get a really dark night. We live inside of that disk. I mean, it'd be like if you live inside of a frisbee, what does the rest of the frisbee look like? You would just see it as kind of a stripe. You know what I mean? But consider that our tiny little neighborhood, we're just one of those little stars. I mean, go back to this last thing. We are just one star out of all of those. So if I'm saying that it's be really hard for us to get from our solar system, what we call the sun, to the closest stars, the Centauris, how difficult then would it be to get to other stars in this galaxy? Just absolutely inconceivable. There's so much space. And that's not the end of the story. Then, if we go from the Milky Way and zoom out, we get to a point where there are lots and lots of other galaxies. In fact, a lot of the lights you see at night outside of that Milky Way, the very bright stars, might in fact be full other galaxies with so many stars that it blow your mind. How many of those might have planets? How many of those planets might possibly have some form of life? How many of those ones might possibly have some intelligent life? It's all it's mind blowing. It's on the border of terrifying, right? It's somewhere between like inspiring and terrifying. It's so old, it's so large, and we are one such tiny piece of this whole entire thing. All right, scary in a way, right? Or again, inspiring if that's where you want to go with it. So, goals this unit. We're going to have to figure out how to categorize these stars. We put them into groups based on their properties. We're going to have to figure out how this whole entire universe got here, the history of the universe, and us as one tiny little bit of it. And again, eventually, like this is stuff from the universe. How did this thing form, or this cell phone, or this mineral? It's made of stuff. And that stuff had to, at some point in the universe's history, come into existence. And we're going to talk about all that. How are stars the places where more advanced like molecules like the carbon that's in my body develop. What else do we got to do? Those are going to be the big things. The history of the universe, put stars into groups, and I don't think we'll quite get into the solar system until we get to the next unit. Let's do like the biggest picture first, figure out these big issues, and then zoom into the solar system next, and that's going to be how we get into what we call years and days and seasons and months and tides and moon phases and all of that. That one's going to be a little busier. This one will be another short one. Big picture, universe. We'll see how it goes. All right. I got a couple other short videos you're going to watch from people that are more poetic than me somehow, right? And welcome to Unit 3, the universe. Keep up the good work, folks.